Howdy there, I'm Josh Reese, and welcome to this video. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please like, share, and subscribe the hell out of my YouTube channel. This video I'm making is for all the brand new Rockets fans out there. In Game 4 in the Western Conference Finals, Rockets beat the Warriors after trailing to tie the series at 2 games apiece. And with the flood of brand new Rockets fans that I've been noticing, I thought it was time to make a video and talk about the team that you now find yourself rooting for. So first off, welcome to the Rockets family. This is a very winning team, especially of late. In the 51 years of Rockets basketball, the team has made the playoffs 32 times. And of late part, they've made the playoffs the past 6 seasons and have made the Western Conference Finals twice. So you found yourself a pretty good team to root for. If you do not know, Chris Paul and James Harden have not been on the same team for more than this season. It was a trade that Patrick Beverley was sent to the Clippers, and Chris Paul came back. Yeah, I digress. It was a big trade. I'm just going to give you the broad strokes here. Instead of giving you the beat-by-beat intro into Rocketdom, let me just give you some of the big things in case you ever get cornered by a real Rockets fan. You'll understand a little bit more, and you'll be able to assimilate into the Rockets fandom here in Houston. So I'm going to give you the 4 most important things you need to know about your now Houston Rockets. So number 1, the Rockets have won back-to-back championships. In 1994, they beat the Knicks in a 7-game series, and in 1995, they swept the Orlando Magic. The win against the Knicks was pretty impressive because it was pretty much Hakeem Olajuwon and the Pips versus Patrick Ewing and John Starks, a very dynamic duo there with the Knicks. The Rockets role players stepped up and they won the final 2 games in the series to win their first ever championship. What? It was amazing. And the very, very next year against the Magic, the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon, if you're unfamiliar with that nickname that people use around here, teamed up with Clyde Drexler, a college teammate, and defeated Shaq and Penny. It was beautiful. It was a sweep. And it was magnificent. Now, the second thing you're going to want to know about the Houston Rockets is the greatest Rocket of all time is none other than Hakeem Olajuwon. After going to the University of Houston, Olajuwon was drafted by the Rockets and helped them win 2 NBA titles. The Dream was an MVP in 1994, and he also should have been an MVP in 1995. But it is what it is. Went to David Robinson. But the Dream ended up getting his revenge and won a finals over by beating the Spurs in 1995. I digress. The Dream was also a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and was an All-NBA first-teamer 6 times. The Dream was listed at 7 feet tall, but really was about 6'9" or 6'10". He could run up and down the court, shake people out of their shoes on the offensive end, and he played amazing defense. In the day of the big and bulky big men, the Dream was different, and he was one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball. Now, number 3 is something you're going to want to know. It's become less relevant of late, but it's still relevant for Rockets fans. Now, the biggest Rockets rival in the history of Rocketdom is the Utah Jazz. The history started many, many years ago before you became a Rockets fan, and between 1993 and 2008-ish, the Rockets made the playoffs 11 times, and they played the Jazz 6 of those times, and 4 of those series, the Rockets were eliminated by the Jazz. The rivalry of late kind of has been replaced by the Warriors, but back in the day, when it was Stockton and Malone, fans around here would pull their hairs out when that team came to town. It was quite frustrating. But the Rockets did beat him twice, so that was nice. It was good payoff. So the last thing you're going to want to know about the Houston Rockets, and this is kind of fitting because he's an inaugural part of the Rockets you're watching now, is James Harden joined the Rockets via trade. James Harden was not drafted by the Rockets. He didn't sign with the Rockets, although he just signed a massive contract a couple years ago. But he originally was not signed by the Rockets. He came via trade. So following 3 straight years of missing to the playoffs, Daryl Morey made a bold move. He traded for Harden, who was a role player for the Thunder, the third wheel in the Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant years. Yes, those two once were on a team. Morey thought that Harden was poised for a breakout, and he shipped Kevin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, 2 first-round picks, and a second-round pick in order to grab the beard. And that's worked out peaches for the Rockets ever since. Since James Harden has joined the Rockets have been in the playoffs 6 straight years. And in Rockets history, twice has the team made playoff runs spanning 6 or more years. And both those times, they've made at least one trip to the finals. This current time is the 3rd in franchise history, and they have not been to the finals yet during this run. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Warriors, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen. So you heard it here first, folks. A little bit of trivia. It seems like the Rockets are due a championship run.